Hello and welcome to the Alchemy Laboratory. Just a quick and simple one today, just an update on some projects. We're in a different area today. There's too much for the quietness here. We have three things here. Well, one of them is just some tea that I'm drinking, some green tea. Who doesn't like green tea? The salts that we began imbibing last week are still imbibing. They're still allowing those to sit. I'll probably continue to do that for a few more weeks before I introduce more liquid. And this is the tallow that I imbibed with white vinegar. And I was expecting for separation of the tallow from the solids and the liquids, or for it to inevitably break down into the vinegar. But what happened is actually neither or. As we can see here, the tallow was a very yellowish, kind of brownish color, and as you can see here, the tallow has become solid white and very foamy, almost like a whipped cream. I know that's kind of gross, and as you can see here, it's not mixing with the vinegar, it's just simply floating on top. So that's a bit strange, not something I was expecting. It's very fluffy and white, and the aroma coming off of it is almost like a mayonnaise. It's not offensive at all, but it doesn't smell like like fat wood, like tallow. It literally smells like mayonnaise, which is weird because it looks like mayonnaise, it smells like mayonnaise, but it's not mayonnaise. It's strange. Um, this is not doing what I had wanted it to do. I was hoping for something of a breaking down, which I believe that is indeed what's happening. I believe the proteins and the fats are being broken down by the acid in the vinegar, and that's why we have what we have here. Let's look at it one more time before we close it. And very fluffy. You can see some of the vinegar right there. I will probably be terminating this experiment within the next couple of days. We've learned what knowledge we can learn from this experiment, and it's not yielding the results that we want. I still have quite a bit of tallow left, so we will be terminating this experiment and moving on to the next, trying to find ways to break down these fats so that they can be used. My intent, well, we'll get to that in a minute. Let's move on to the next thing here. Here are some bones, chicken bones to be exact, that I've been processing for the last few days. I processed them we defleshed them. We ate the chicken. They are chicken bones, so we ate the meat off of the bone. And then I began a very lengthy process of boiling the bones extensively. I must have boiled them for about 6 hours to make sure that all the oils had been extracted, all the meat had come off the bone, the cartilage, etc., so that we're just left with the bone matter. And then after that, they were put into the furnace at a low temperature for about 3 to 4 hours on top of that. So they are very, let me try to see if I can reach one. They are very dry and brittle, and very light because all the oils and fluids have been extracted, and all we're left is the hollow bone itself. My plan for these, the fats here and the bones, is I will be documenting it on video. I will be probably doing it this weekend. These bones here will be put back into the furnace until they become very, very brittle. And then I will be breaking them down with a mortar and pestle through maceration. Not into a dust, because that's a different process, or not into a bone meal either. That's another process as well. Just breaking them down into manageable pieces. And then I will be getting some meat, preferably chicken, because it's cheap, and it would uh, be in line with these bones. And I'm going to carbonize it and then calcinate it if possible, burn it down to an ash, and then eventually doing the bones the same way, so that we have the bones and we have the meat in calcinated form, and we're gonna mix these. And I'm hoping to get some tallow. I want to process it down and separate it down. I don't know how I'm going to do that yet. That's the reason for this experiment here. I'm trying to figure it out. And then after I work that, I want to imbibe the ashes of the bones and the flesh, and imbibe the fat, reintroduce the fats back in, and then putting those in the furnace at a low temperature to achieve dryness, and trying to see if I can start working on some kind of stone, what I'm going to call the flesh stone, or the stone of flesh. This is the current project that I'm working on, and I'm trying different experiments to try to achieve different results, because after all, what is alchemy if not knowledge and the search for knowledge? And we make mistakes, we get results that we don't want or don't expect, like the fat here, but that's part of the process. The knowledge gained is just as important, if not more important, than the outcome or the end result product. So that's my opinion anyway. So now I was thinking too, is that chicken bones they're hollow, as are most, if not all, bird bones, and that makes them very light, which is good, and they're very easily accessible, and they're cheap, and they're abundant, and they're very easy to process because of the fact that they are so brittle naturally, and that they're very light. The issue there becomes is that you don't have a lot of material to work with. You don't have a lot of mass. I can already tell from just experience with alchemy that if I was to calcinate this or burn it, I mean, I wouldn't even fill up but this much, if that, in the jar. I say to about right here. So that, because they are hollow, they don't have a lot of matter in them. And then once you get rid of the carbons and such, you're not going to end up with much. Which brings us to another point. Soup bones, beef, those are solid, and you have a ton of material there. But then the question becomes, how do you process that? You would need a very, very, very hot furnace for an extended period of time to break those down to calcination. And that's simply something that I don't have. I don't have that kind of material, that kind of equipment, rather. And so for now, we're going to work with these, do some experimentation, and we might not use all the bones for this stone that we're attempting. My concern with that stone, as I was saying, the process that I want to do is the calcinated flesh, the calcinated bones, with the broken down tallow, not this one specifically, but broken down tallow imbibed into them. I have two opinions of what would happen there. If the heat is too high when putting this stone, if you will, into the furnace, is that the tallow will melt and it'll leave the stone, and all you're going to end up with is greasy, soggy ashes, which is not what we're looking for. We need something more subtle. Might have to do it in the sun or in a warm spot where it'll dry and all the liquid and will leave the fat material. But you want to break down the tallow enough to where you don't end up with the stone becoming rancid. That's another issue that you have when working with animal material, is rancid. which is not something that you get with the vegetable kingdom. They will decay, but you will not get that rancidness, which is pretty gross. It doesn't smell great, and also, um, it could carry bacteria, germs, etc. So you got to be careful. I would definitely be wearing personal protective equipment while working with these materials at later stages. And anyway, I will do that. I will be recording that this weekend, and we'll begin our work on this stone that I want to produce. I don't know what's going to happen. I have a few theories. Like I said, I think it might just melt, or I might not be able to break the tallow down properly, and we're going to end up with a rancid material. Or I might not find a way to break it down properly, period. That's something, because I will require liquid for the stone. The vegetable stone requires liquid as well as physical material, solid if you will. So, and this one should require several components. So that's what I'm hoping for. So I will be recording that this weekend when I begin the process. I will be fully documenting the entire process from beginning to end with explanations. I will do that. But for now, I think we're done with this tallow. Wow. Anyway, I better wrap up this video. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please click the like button, subscribe, click the bell button, the little bell icon in the corner there, and stay tuned for further experiments and the process of this stone that we will hopefully achieve, and hopefully you'll be able to witness it as it is achieved. Thank you. See you next time. Thanks for watching.